Hello, year 33 MFL members, and things are starting to heat up a little bit here. Um, First of all, I thought I would just throw out real quick. There was a transaction that caught some's attention. Malik Neighbors was released. Um, there was some discussion after that, and it is going to remain. So if anybody's going to bid on Malik Neighbors, go ahead. I can tell you this: there's a couple of ways to look at that. If you go ahead and make that move now, I think you're freeing up a lot of money for next year. You can kind of it depends, I guess, on do you want to have that money in more of a offensive bid type scenario, or would you rather keep Malik Neighbors at whatever salary he was at, which was not cheap, and play some defense, and then have that money if you decide to let him go. I think what you're basically saying here is at that salary he was not going to be kept, and frankly, I don't know that he would have been bid on. Now, what you do get is the opportunity for other people to maybe stash him, and then they have that opportunity to field bids, and they have that opportunity to field those bids at a lower number, needless to say, than what he was originally paid. So I think there's a couple of ways to look at that. I mean, it's obvious he's not going to help this year, and I think if you were kind of taking that bundle of money and putting it on him, expecting him to help you win it, and he's not able to do so, you kind of have your options available to you. I was asked specifically by one owner, so I will answer this for everybody. Malik Neighbors, once he is released, will be re-signed at whatever salary he is bid upon through the free agents market, through the waiver wire. So it's going to be significantly lower. But if he's picked up for 10 points, then that's going to be his new salary. So, but unless he is franchised, he will be open for bidding next year, and then you kind of have options. And honestly, if the person who released him at however many points, 100 and whatever many points, wants to go bid on him again, they can. They have the money available. So I don't know. It's a very forward-thinking move. It's a very speculative move, and I think in a lot of ways people can kind of take that for what it's worth to them. But there will be no take backsies. Discussions have been had, and everything's fine. Nobody's too worried about it, and definitely injured reserve spots were available and were chosen not to be used. This was a little bit of a deliberate move, and maybe a little bit of a impassioned move based upon some frustrations. That's a possibility too. So, yeah, I think just know if you're putting in for Malik Neighbors, good luck. I wish you luck. That's for sure. I thought I would throw out too. There was some talk in some other leagues of mine, and I was surprised. I came in and grabbed Tank Bigsby after waivers ran in this league, and so I'll be kind of curious to see how that pans out. I definitely had a spot, so I figured I might as well. That's for sure. But anyway, yeah. So based on the chatter in the league chat here, everything appears to be as it should be, at least as far as everyone thought it was going to be. So little trash talk here about Derrick Henry. I like that a lot. Let's start with our report here. And the best manager was the Leavenworth Law Dogs. And believe it or not, this was in a loss. Pretty much did everything they possibly could to try and win. And, basically got only short of themselves about, 3 points here, and still ended up losing. I feel like those are the kinds of losses I can handle, because if there's just nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do. Kevin Rogers as the worst manager this week, and maybe he's right. Maybe he can't beat me because he did not. He was projected to do so. But notice the Hoopton Corn Jerkers are now back at 4-4, and Big D is at 5-3. I still think Big D is going to be a force in the postseason. I'm still not convinced that Hoopton's going to make it, but we'll find out. 4-4. If you'd have asked me at the beginning of the season, would I be 4-4? Would I take it? My answer would have been yes. So I am going to take it. John Toll blows out our defending champion, and that might be the death knell for this season for our champ. 181-64. The narrowest victory was the Army over the Law Dogs, and we'll kind of get into how that affects the standings and stuff here in a minute. Notice West Canaan is our high scorer. I think that's multiple weeks, perhaps consecutive weeks. Lowest scorer, again, is our defending champion. Our overachiever, much to Harold's dismay, was Cassandra and the Army. The one below expectations, again, was Steve. Jonathan Taylor, running back of the week. I don't think Hoopton can expect to win the league after letting a player like that go. I just don't think that's possible. So, that's the way that's going to go. Notice the bench warmer quarterback, Mac Jones, and notice the bench warmer running back, R.J. Harvey. Not bad. Not to mention Butte, Kyle Pitts, who we haven't heard from in like 2 years, and kicker defense. So our bench warmers are always kind of interesting to look at, I think. Anyway, so yeah, several things happening over here in the league chat. Make sure you're following that. Hoopton defeats Kevin. Kevin's at 5-3. Hoopton's at 4-4. The CDs goes to 2-6, and man, that's again just cannot seem to catch a break because they're playing the highest scoring team in the league. So probably not much they could have done. But West Canaan is 6-2, and CDs is 2-6. We'll talk about them again here in a minute when we get to the standings. Cleveland 4-4, Kansas City 3-5. That was a big deal. 2 3-4 teams going at it, and I think Cleveland has kind of asserted themselves that they're going to be a force again. Again, runner-up last year. The Army is at 5-3. Law Dogs at 3-5, still alive. 3-5 to me after 8 weeks again is the pace. If you're at 3-5, you're okay. The problem is you've only really got one more loss to play with, so you want to start stringing them together. And the Quake NATOs at 6-2 defeat Toledo, who is also 3-5. The Gray Squirrels are 2-6. San Antonio moves to 5-3. So here is our standings. If the playoffs were today, we would have 7 teams in the standings, which would mean our number 1 seed would get a bye and the rest would not. And that's, again, probably going to shake out pretty well by the end of the season. Once again, you're just trying to hit 7 wins, however you got to do it. So if you hit 7 wins, we're going to get you in the playoffs. If you hit 6 wins, you got to hope that you finish 6th and that you win some tiebreakers and stuff like that. So 6 wins is not a guarantee. 7 wins is a guarantee. So these teams are still alive. I think Leavenworth, Toledo, and Kansas City can still pull it together. But you really kind of want to hit that 5 or 6 win mark before you get that 6th loss. That's for sure, because otherwise you're pretty much just having to string them all together. Much the case as CDs and the Gray Squirrels now. They can still get to 7 wins. It is possible. But they've got to really kind of get hot. Get hot now, that's for sure. So that's our standings. Let's go ahead and jump ahead to week 9. We got Hoopton playing against the Army and right now projected to win. But again, I feel like that team has not even looked at their lineup yet. I'm sure they don't check it until Thursday for the Thursday game. So no worries there. Kansas City's going to have to take on West Canaan, and that is not a happy job. West Canaan is rolling right now, so maybe some things are going to shape up there as far as Kansas City season. CDs and Cleveland, if Cleveland stays as hot as they are, these are probably the 2 teams that have received the least amount of luck this season. And if Cleveland takes care of CDs, that could pretty much cinch it both ways. If CDs can somehow beat Cleveland, then maybe they can start clawing their way back into it. You got Big D at 5-3, Leavenworth at 3-5. Classic rivalry once again. Tulsa at 6-2, San Antonio at 5-3. I think both those teams are going to be in the playoffs, and that's probably a seeding. That's probably a seeding matchup there. Winner gets the higher seed in the end, and loser probably not. But that's going to be pretty pivotal. And then Dan, he's got to get himself back on track, and maybe he's got a good draw here against the 2-6 Gray Squirrels, who just seem to be reeling as the season goes on. So that is your Week 8 recap and your Week 9 preview. Once again, if you're ever curious about whether or not a player should be cut or a player should be traded for or anything like that, you're always welcome to pass it by me if you want. I'll give you my honest take on it. I try real hard not to give too much advice unless I just feel, if there's a really strong right and wrong side to something, then I'll point that out. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm right either. So anyway, just know that we're really shaping into the season. We are in the second half now, and we're trying to get to week 14 and see who's going to make it. So next week I'm going to try to get our tiebreaker stuff kind of lined out. Again, I know I've got that on a document somewhere, and I'll show that on the screen. And so that way people kind of know who they've got the tiebreakers against and who they don't. And we'll just keep on keeping on. I'm about, let me see, I think it's 3 weeks from today. I'm going to be showing up in Oklahoma for some early Thanksgiving with family. And again, I don't know how I'm going to be able to necessarily see everybody. I think I'm hanging out with the grandbaby mostly. So if I don't see you, that's cool. But just know I was thinking about you, and I really hope everybody stays safe out there and has a great holiday. That's for sure. So until then, everybody be good, and I'll check in with you next week.